The market is growing and everyone is buying up tokens hoping for big returns. But I don't make guesses. I make 50, 100, 150 bucks every day just from crypto arbitrage. And in this video, I'll tell you about the different strategies and how you can start making money with crypto right now. Even if you haven't bought any tokens, without guessing the price, whether it will go up or down, you can just take advantage of market inefficiencies and pull out cash. This video is going to be very interesting and useful, so give it a like and subscribe to our channel if you haven't already. Let's get started. Let's start with the basics. What is arbitrage? Arbitrage is buying a token at a lower price on one exchange and selling it on another. There are different types of strategies. It's not just about buying cheaper on one exchange, transferring to another and selling at a higher price. There's also funding arbitrage, as well as various other types of spot and futures arbitrage. Let's start by breaking down the simplest one. Inter-exchange arbitrage is buying a token at a lower price on one exchange, transferring it to another and selling it at a higher price. Let's say, for example, some token. Yes, let's break it down right now with a real example. I'm using the Arbitrage Scanner software. Right now, it has just shown a juicy spread. Here are the settings you see with advanced filters. This is our Arbitrage Scanner, meaning inter-exchange arbitrage. The token is Nexo. We have a price difference with MEXC. Let's open it and take a look. So, on Bingit, the token is cheaper. On MEXC, it's more expensive with a 5% profit. Let's go in and check. So, let's see what we've got. On Bingit, the token price is 0. A bunch of zeros, 13. Well, 14. Yes, 1404. On MEXC, the price is a bunch of zeros, 14687. So we have a difference. We have a spread between these tokens. Right now it's growing and we can enter this spread while the tokens haven't converged yet. So on Bingit, we buy the token cheaper, transfer it to MEXC and sell it at a higher price. And we pocket the difference. That's a 5% profit from one round. And this is the kind of deal the Arbitrage Scanner found for us. That is, even the Nexa network fees are just tiny, not even a cent. And this way you can collect the spread. At the moment, our trading volume on Bingit is $57,000 and on MEXC, our volume is $78,000. So the trading volumes there are actually quite decent. You can easily trade $1,000 in this token or even more without any issues. Why does such a price discrepancy occur? On one exchange, someone is buying a position, while on others, they're selling. That's why a spread appears. So, we have an inefficiency that market makers and arbitrageurs will work to balance out. Also, because of differences in liquidity and the fact that newcomers see a listing, meaning the token was already trading on one exchange and has just been listed on another, this creates a sort of hype. People see the listing, see that the token is giving huge percentage gains and multiples, and they start buying it, pushing the price even higher. And on the exchange where the token was already being traded, its price doesn't have time to catch up to the price on the exchange where it was just listed. Because of this, a spread arises, a difference between the prices that we can take advantage of. Let's move on to the next type of arbitrage. The next type of arbitrage is called spot plus futures arbitrage. It's more versatile, better, and you can earn more with it. The idea behind it is extremely simple. We have a token that is cheaper on the spot market and more expensive on the futures market. So we buy on the spot market, say for $1,000, and short $1,000 worth on the futures market. When the prices converge, we close both positions, sell the spot and close the futures, and pocket the difference. This is spot plus futures arbitrage. There are also subtypes of arbitrage, such as futures arbitrage, which is done without spot, purely on futures, and also futures plus spot, meaning both on futures and spot. There's spot plus futures, and there's futures plus spot. And you can also look for such trades using the Arbitrage Scanner. Let's go in. Arbitrage perpetuals. We open the advanced filters, and here you can choose a strategy. Futures plus spot, or spot plus futures. Below, we have a table displaying the spreads. We can see the profit that we will earn, the token with the spread, as well as the exchange where you need to buy and the exchange where you need to sell. All of this is displayed here, including the funding rates. Let's find a token using the spot plus futures strategy. At the moment, we can see that there is a whole 13% profit difference between Poloniex and MEXC on the PAO token. Let's go in and take a look. On Poloniex, the token is cheaper, and on MEXC, the token is more expensive. Now look, this is an example of a trade you shouldn't enter. On Poloniex, the trading volume is $50, so well, 50 bucks. Look, the chart is just dead. You won't be able to enter a token like this because if you buy it, you'll push the price up a lot. So we'll skip this trade. Look, we've got a trade opportunity on the Sandog token between LBank and other exchanges. Let's take a look between Bybit and LBank. Look, the essence of arbitrage is extremely simple. On LBank, the token is cheaper. Here we buy on spot, and on futures on Bybit, it's more expensive. But right now the spread has almost closed. So this trade is basically no longer relevant. So you need to act quickly. You have to open positions quickly. Ideally, you buy on spot and short on futures at the same time to lock in the spread. When the prices converge, like they have right now, we need to close the position. So you really have to act very fast here. It's also important to remember that we enter with the same amount on both sides. For example, you buy spot for 500 bucks and short for 500 bucks, or you arbitrage with some other amount. It's important to do all this at the same time, because if you mess up, if you enter on one exchange but don't make it in time on the other, the spread might already close and you'll end up breaking even or even at a loss. That's why it's crucial to act very quickly here. Often during a pump, futures get overheated. For example, the futures price rises faster because more people are trading there, while the spot price can't keep up. That's why spreads appear, which we can take advantage of. And finally, the third strategy for today is funding rate arbitrage. This is the most passive, lazy strategy, where we simply collect funding fees. We don't trade at all. We don't try to guess whether the price will go up or down. We just enter a position, collect the funding, and exit. Let me show you how to find such trades. Look, on the Arbitrage Scanner, there is a funding table where you can check the spreads on different tokens across various exchanges. Here we have the tokens displayed. Here we see the spread between the funding rates as well as the exchanges, and what the funding rates are on these exchanges. Look, take the Blast token as an example. There's some kind of pump happening right now, so arbitrage opportunities are popping up frequently. Let's take a look. On KuCoin, we see in the table that KuCoin is minus 0.814. On XT, the funding rate is positive. Accordingly, if the funding rate is negative, it means there are a lot of short sellers, so we go long there. If the funding rate is positive, then we short there, which means there are a lot of long traders. We go to the exchanges and check. Indeed, on KuCoin, the funding rate is negative, minus 0.80, while on XT, the funding rate is positive. Accordingly, we go long on KuCoin so that the short sellers pay us. If the funding rate is negative, short sellers pay the long traders. And on XT, we start shorting. The funding rate is positive, which means long traders will pay short sellers. And in this way, we capture the funding arbitrage. It also often happens that the funding rates are negative. So, for example, if the funding rate is negative everywhere, then we look for where the funding is more negative and go long there, and where the funding is less negative, we go short. Ideally, we also want the prices to be the same. That is, we buy at roughly the same price and short at roughly the same price. And it's important that the spread is not negative, because if, for example, the token is priced higher on one exchange and lower on another, and you go long where it's higher and short where it's lower, you risk losing on the arbitrage. That's why we should enter funding arbitrage, preferably at the same price, so that the token costs the same on the exchange where we go long and on the one where we go short. And it's very difficult to find all these arbitrage opportunities manually. I use the software Arbitrage Scanner. Again, as I showed you, it displays arbitrage opportunities on futures with completely different strategies. Spot plus futures, futures plus futures, futures and spot. In short, everything you need. Full customization for your needs, exchanges, transaction amounts, minimum profit. You can set up funding rates. Everything is displayed below in a table format, showing profits, tokens, where to buy, where to short, funding rates are shown, and inter-exchange arbitrage is also displayed. That is, tokens that are on spot. You buy them cheaper, transfer them to another exchange, and sell them at a higher price. There are also detailed, in-depth settings available. You can also customize the table to your preferences. Here you see the token, exchange, and spread displayed. In short, it's fully loaded. Everything you need for arbitrage is shown. You can also view the funding rate here and engage in arbitrage or funding farming. And all of this is thanks to a single service, Arbitrage Scanner. They are also giving away $5,000, which you can win. The results will be announced on December 31st. Let me explain how to participate. Go to the subscription section. I have a promo code that will give you 30% back, meaning I'll return 30% of your subscription cost to you. And you also get an extra 30 days added to your subscription. To participate in the $5,000 giveaway, purchase a business or higher subscription. That is business, platinum, or enterprise. Below that, we have Guru and VIP, and with those, you also participate in the giveaway. The bigger your subscription and the longer the duration in months, the more tickets you receive. And with each ticket, you increase your chances of winning the giveaway. I'll leave a link to the post in the official Arbitrage Scanner channel in the description. Here, it's explained in more detail how to collect these tickets. You can also earn tickets for free by referring friends, reposting promotions on Telegram or Twitter, and by making a video mentioning Arbitrage Scanner. So, click the link below to learn more about how to participate in the giveaway and claim your $5,000 prize on December 31st. To make money on cryptocurrency, you don't have to guess whether the price will go up or down. You can engage in crypto arbitrage. There are different types of strategies for different deposits and different risk levels. Choose the one that suits you best and start making cash today. If you found this video helpful, give it a like. Check out other useful educational videos on our channel. Also, leave a comment letting us know if you liked the video or not and share it with your friends. And we'll see you in the next videos. Bye everyone!